Disturbing allegations this morning that singer R. Kelly is holding several women against their will in what their parents are calling an abusive cult. None of the supposed 6 women involved are underage, and police have filed no charges against Kelly. According to a BuzzFeed news story, parents of at least 2 women say they have been fighting to get their daughters away from Kelly. Several women who were once close to Kelly corroborated the family's claims, saying not only are females who are living in properties rented by Kelly in Chicago and suburban Atlanta subject to mental and physical abuse, they are also taped performing sex acts that Kelly then shows to his male friends.
You have to ask to be, take a bath, permission to shower, to eat, permission to go from one room to the next. He really manipulates your mind because of who he is and his fame.
Kelly allegedly forces the women to turn and face the wall if other men are present, and if they break any of his rules, he punishes them physically and verbally. Now, police checked on Joycelyn Savage but found no evidence of a crime, but the 21-year-old's mother thinks her daughter is in trouble.
My daughter's severely brainwashed. She's brainwashed to the point where she says anything that he asks her to say. She's not the same.
But Savage tells TMZ she's fine, though she refused to say where she was or whether she could leave the location of her own free will.
I'm in a happy place with my life, and I'm not being brainwashed or anything like that. It just came to a point where it definitely has gotten out of hand. So, I just want everybody to know, my parents and everybody in the world, that I am totally fine. I'm happy where I'm at, and everything is okay with me.
In a statement, Kelly's attorney says Mr. Robert Kelly is both alarmed and disturbed at the recent revelations attributed to him. Mr. Kelly unequivocally denies such allegations and will work diligently and forcibly to pursue his accusers and clear his name. Joining us right now in studio, Dr. Jeff Menzes, president of the Association of Black Psychologists, D.C. Also joining us via Skype from Dallas is Yodit Tuwelde, a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. And of course, our panel here, we have Kim Klasick, Jameer Burley, Joe Payne. Start with you, Yodit, first. Okay, so here's the deal. Story was written. All of the women older than 18, consent in one state is 16, consent in one state is 17. Police did welfare checks. Nothing there. What's the story?
So these parents of these alleged victims are using this word cult, and being in a cult isn't illegal. So yes, they're of consenting age, not an issue. However, just because they were not, or R. Kelly didn't commit a crime in kidnapping these individuals from the very beginning, that could very well be the case now. If he is keeping them and is controlling their movements through threats or force, then that is kidnapping.
Well, how do you prove it? How do you prove it? Because you got one of the women, she comes out and says, yo, I'm fine. So, obviously people are going after R. Kelly on social media. They're bringing up the trial where he was accused of having sex with underage girls. Now, he, of course, they said that was him in the video. It couldn't determine the age of the girl in the video. But, again, what's here?
It's all about evidence, and you don't have evidence if you don't have at least one cooperating alleged victim. So as of right now, even though I really don't believe that video of that individual, that young lady who was saying she was okay, totally was coerced, but right now the police have nothing. That's why there are no charges. That's why there's no investigation. There's no one that's coming forward and saying, this is what's happening to me. However, there is someone, that Asante McGee individual, who is corroborating what the parents are saying. Now, if she can bring something forward, if there can be some evidence that she can provide that was done to her by R. Kelly at an age that wasn't of a consenting age, then maybe possibly we can get something going. But as of right now, this may be a civil matter, but criminal-wise, there is no evidence. You have individuals who are willing to be where they are, and you can't do anything about that right now.
Jeff, you also have some of the folks who came forward to corroborate these allegations who were also involved in sexual relations with R. Kelly. This is like a whole, this is a whole big mess.
Oh yeah, it's super messy. Especially when you have somebody with a reputation that calls themselves the Pied Piper of R&B, hanging out in the chocolate factory. You get all of this stuff in his background that kind of says, yeah, this is likely to be taking place right now. But as the sister says, we don't have any evidence of anything. When you look at the video, the young lady speaking about she's being okay, you can see somebody coaching her in the background. You can see a shadow on her, somebody telling her, you know, it seems like hands moving like this, like don't answer that question, don't be direct about that point. And so there's definitely some type of coercion going on here, but there's nothing illegal at this point. Like you said, the age of consent in Illinois is 17, 16 in Georgia. The youngest lady, I believe, is 18 at this point. I mean, if you think about R. Kelly's single with Aaliyah, age ain't nothing but a number. He's in the background on that album cover putting the earring in. You know, all of these subtle signs leading up to this point right here. It's like, he seems like he's doing what they're saying that he's doing, but again, there's no evidence for this.
Kim, Jameer, obviously, and Joel, in the court of public opinion, R. Kelly is guilty, guilty, guilty. This has gotten lots of attention, but that's pretty much what it is, a lot of attention.
And I think it should get attention. I think while as mentioned by the attorney that there is currently no evidence to convict him or even to charge him, if anything, that doesn't mean that we should throw it on, is water under the bridge. We should definitely pay attention to what's happening to these women, because oftentimes women don't come forward till very long after it happens or until they feel like there's a safe space. So I think we should definitely continue to keep our eyes open and be aware.
Yeah, I have to say, that video of that young lady saying that she was okay, that reminded me of a horror film. It was almost like a hostage situation. Like you said, there was somebody there coaching her the entire time. But if no one comes forward and there's no evidence, what can we do?
Our community has to confront this, and we've seen it time and again. Bill Cosby, right? We've got R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, there's Usher, there's some stuff now. We've got to figure out, how do we hold these people accountable, who we celebrate and who we laud. And it's a difficult challenge for us because we respect the art and we understand the challenges of being a black man in that industry, but we also don't want to co-sign this type of terrible behavior.
But here's the question I have here, Doc, for you. What are we holding accountable? That he's a freak?
You see?
I mean, no, seriously, because the issue here is, I've listened to the parents, I've listened to the women who came forward. Again, as your D said, there's nothing criminal. Right. So what are we holding accountable?
Exactly, and so that's the point. I think people's morals are being rocked. I think that if this is a part of his personal life, and let's say that there's no type of mental manipulation taking place, let's say these women aren't being brainwashed and inducted into some type of cult. Let's say that these are all consenting adults living a lifestyle that they're choosing to live. If we're taking that approach, it sounds like 50 Shades of Kelly to me.
But it's not, but this incident can't be looked at in a silo. It's talking about the entire context of who R. Kelly is and the things that we know that he has committed, things that he participated in. There are people who are saying that R. Kelly used to ride his car out in front of high schools in Chicago. Like, all of these things have to be considered.
Physical abuse is included in this story too, where if women are speaking to other men, they're getting hit.
Your D, final comment here, 30 seconds.
So
but the problem still here is you don't have one victim coming forward. That's the issue.
And exactly, and as a former prosecutor, it was hard for me to prosecute cases of domestic violence, for example, if I didn't have a victim willing to say, this is what happened and this is what he did to me. So if these parents can have something, I know that one of the parents said they were going to come out with some evidence. If they can show evidence, even of false imprisonment, the fact that he is saying you can't leave until I say so is false imprisonment, and you don't have to show evidence of threats, and that would be an easy crime to prove.
All right, folks, we appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
News One Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.